Hello and welcome to another part of the tutorial series about the Derrynaflan trail. So I try to use public transport to get to heritage site if there is public transport, so it's fairly okay to get to Inishtig, for example, from Kilkenny, or to Thomastown, or to Derrynaflan. Usually you only get about an hour or two at the town or village before the bus goes back, so that's not really ideal. But it is possible for some heritage sites. It is impossible to get to Tipperary from Kilkenny. So I have found a bus though that goes from Thurles to Clonmel via Killinall. And I presume it is not mapped yet. So I will do that in this video. You find the public transport on openstreetmap.org when you go to the layers on the right hand side. And there are actually two transport layers. One is called the transport map and one is the ÖPNV-Karte, which is German for public transport. So if I click here, there should be red lines and there aren't any, so it isn't mapped yet. And the ÖPNV-Karte also doesn't have anything for Thurles. I'm not surprised. But if we go to Kilkenny, there should be some lines there. Yeah, so because I have mapped the, probably not me alone, the, the city bus that I never use. But there are some of those there, and the numbers are on it as well. And that's KK2 and KK1 are the ones in the city, and then there's ones that go to Derrynaflan or to Thomastown, and I've mapped those. And I usually do that by taking the bus and tracking where it goes, because it can be difficult to know where the bus is going. When you know it goes from A to B, but it might take some of the villages along the way that you wouldn't think it would. So it's always better to take the bus and track where it's going than to just presume where it's going. But that's where what I have to do now, because I can't get to Thurles or to Clonmel and take the bus. It's too much hassle and it's too much money to do it, and I'm not that dedicated. I hope you can excuse that. But I've looked at the bus stops and where they are, and I think it's there's only one way to get there, I hope. And if it's wrong, then please go and correct what I'm doing. So the first stop, the bus company is Bernard Kavanagh. They're based in Urlingford. There's also JJ Kavanagh and another Kavanagh company, of which I've forgotten the name of. But I found their timetable on their website, and that's what I'm using. There were no maps on their website, and so that's what I have, and I've downloaded it. So it's Thurles to Clonmel, and I'm probably only going to do Thurles to Killinall, and I might have to skip some stops because I'm not entirely sure where they are. So you can look at the bus stops names. So it's the town or the village first, and then some sort of landmark like Mockler's Chemist, which is actually Mockler's Pharmacy on OpenStreetMap, but it's the same name. And Tumai Boris only has one church, so that makes it a bit easier. I don't know where Eli's garage is in Urlingford. There's only one church in Gortnahu. I don't know where the filling station is in Ballysloe. There's only one crossroads in Glengool, which is also known as New Birmingham. And then in Ballynunchy, there's only also one crossroads. And I found the Bit and Bridle Bar in Killinall on Mapillery. Anyway, we'll start in Thurles with Mockler's Chemist. And the way you do bus routes is also a relation, which I won't make part of the greater Derrynaflan trail relation. It's just to give you an idea of how to get from Thurles to Killinall. So it's here on Liberty Square, even though the stop is called Mockler's Pharmacy. And you see there's a bus parking space which says bus only. So that's it. So we're going into edit. So I'll put a bus stop on this node here. And you can type in bus stop in the search, or you can use, and I'll show you here, highway equals bus stop. But if you type it in, it gives you 3 tags already, and you won't forget them. And we can put in a name, and it's allegedly Mockler's Chemist. And I don't know the stop number, I don't know the network. I'll put that in the relation. For bus stops, you have a couple of things you can add. You can add if there's a bench, which is useful when you're waiting for a long time. You can also add if there's a shelter. Most bus stops in rural Ireland don't have a shelter because it never rains in Ireland. Why would you? You can also add if there is a timetable. I don't know it for this stop, so I won't put anything there. But now I want to make this part of the relation for the bus route. And of course I haven't created the relation yet, so I will do that now. Go down to relation. Make sure you have your bus stop highlighted. Go down to relation and create a new relation. And there's a couple of choices here, but we're going for the route feature. And then there is a bus route. And you see there's more than that. But we're going for a bus route, so I'll click on that. A common name, I don't think it has one. I don't think it has a route number. The operator is Bernard Kavanagh. And it's from Thurles to Clonmel. I don't think it has a special color, like, you know, some, like when you look at the tube map of Berlin or London, every tube line has its own color. That doesn't apply here, I'd say. And then you have to give it a role, and that's bus stop. Yep. So that's the first bus stop we've added. Now we want to see where it goes. I'll just save this now, or I'll open OpenStreetMap in a new tab. Here are some of the things you can add as well. You can also add if there's a bin or if it's lit, which is also at a bus stop useful to know. But you can look that up on the wiki for highway bus stop. Some of these questions are also part of quests on Street Complete, so it'll ask you for bench, shelter, bin, lit. I think these are 4 that I have answered in quests on Street Complete. So the next stop is to Malboris Church, and that is just down that road. So I would think, hopefully, that the bus goes along here to Malboris. So I'm just gonna add all these roads or streets to the relation. So I'll start with this one, and you see when I click this one, it highlights the whole square, and I don't want that. I only want this part here, so I have to split here. And if I click on this street again, I have to split it here at the bus stop as well. So it only has this part highlighted, and I can go down to relations, and now when I click on it, it gives me the option bus route from Thurles to Clonmel, and I click on that, and I have to give it a role again, and that's route. And then I'll just follow this road here and make sure it doesn't highlight more than I want. And if I want to, I can highlight more bits than one by holding the Shift key. But I have to make sure that the latest member of the relation is on screen. Otherwise, the relation won't turn up in the list. I'll just show you now. So now the last bit that I've just added to the relation isn't on screen. So when I click here, it doesn't come up in the drop-down menu. So if I move the map back to have this part that I've just added still on screen, it shows the bus road again. So I can add all these roads and then move the map further along. And I can just continue this until I get to Malboris, and then you can pick up with me there. So I've now reached 2 mile bars, and I almost went the wrong way because I continued highlighting the N75, and you see it makes it goes around here. But the next bus stop is at the church in 2 mile bars, which is up here. So clearly the bus goes here and then turns left. So I have to split the N75 here. So I can highlight this part and then continue into 2 mile bars. I've accidentally highlighted the river. Don't want that. So try this again. And then zoom in a bit onto the bridge and the next bit of the road. And I think most of these bus routes are made for locals to take the bus every day or at least regularly. But if you're new to an area, when I went to Cork, like sometimes I didn't even know what the bus stop was, and I don't use Google Maps out of principle, so that didn't really help. And I'm really relying on OpenStreetMap, and it forces me to interact and to improve the map for the next person who comes along and goes to Clonakilty or somewhere. But we can only work and make it better. So somebody has already mapped this bus stop. It might have been me because I was in this convenience store some months ago. So the bus stop is called Church, I think. Yep. So we can add the name. And no more details because I don't know. I think I did Mapillary here a bit, so I could go in and do that. But I want to do the route first. So I highlight this bus stop and I'll add it to the relation as a bus stop. There are different types of bus stop rules. So you can have a platform as well. But I'd say most rural buses don't have a platform. They're just stop wherever. So I'll continue here and meet you at Mary Willie's. So I can't actually meet you at Mary Willie's because I don't know which way the bus is going. It could either go this way here and then turn right because this is Mary Willie's, or it could go the old bog road. I presume it's not because it's not a very wide road. It probably goes this way. But I'm just gonna leave that bit out and continue at Mary Willie's, which is here. So here's Mary Willie's, but it continues towards Urlingford. So I still don't know if it comes the old bog road or this one, but it certainly has to continue on the R639 to Urlingford because that seems to be the only way. So I will, and it could also just turn around here or here. So I think I'll continue with the relation here. So I'll split here because that would be safe enough. The rest of the relation is off screen now, so if I try to add this to the relation now, it won't come up in the drop down field. But as long as I have this highlighted and I have my menu here, I can zoom out to where I remember the last member being added, which is here. It's down here, and now it should show me the option. It does. Thank you. And then I can zoom in again and continue adding bits of the R639 to the relation. And be careful not to add too much. Because somewhere here is the bus stop. I don't know where. There seems to be a bus stop here, but it's called Josephine's. And it's not opposite any filling station. So that might be it, might not be it. Then the headquarters of Bernard Kavanagh is, I think, here. There is a sign here, but couldn't quite make sense of it. Then there is a filling station here. But it's not Eli's, it's Texaco. But there is a bus stop here, definitely. I saw the sign for it on Mapillary, which is rare enough. But I don't know if that's the one. It's also on the wrong side of the road, isn't it? I've just been to Germany and adjusting to right-hand side traffic and left-hand side traffic. But anyway, Gortnahu is to the south here, so I won't add this bus stop because I'm not quite sure where it is. but I have to add this bit here from there to there, so I have to split again and add this to the relation, and then this is the road to Gordnahu, the R689. And I'll continue to Gordnahu and see you there. So the bus stop in Gordnahu is called Church, and there's only one church, and this is it here. So the bus stop is somewhere there. I'll continue highlighting this road first. And I will, this time I'll add a note on the road, like here. Not a freestanding one that you might have seen before. And add that to the relation as a bus stop and call it Church, or maybe Gordnahu. I think there are two spellings for Gordnahu. So it's somewhere there. I looked at the mapillary, I couldn't see a sign for a bus stop, but as I said, that's very common in rural Ireland. You don't get a stop because people know where to get off, and there's only one church, and if the bus stop is called Church, then that's where you get off. There's also a shop here, which is often a stop too. And I've just added a few more details here earlier, and we'll continue, and I think you get the idea now. I don't think you have to join me again for every stop. Last stop will be Killinall, where I give up on this bus route, which is not complete, but I'll add a note to the bus route. Somewhere here where the tags are. Here. Note incomplete. And maybe I'll write to Bernard Kavanagh and ask them if they take the Old Bog Road or if they take the whatever the name of the road was there. And hopefully they'll get back to me, probably not. And then I can continue, fill the gap in between. So I'll see you in Killinall on the map. So we've now arrived in Killinall, and it should be very familiar to you by now. And I've added a few more businesses using mapillary, like the Bit and Bridle, which is the pub here. So I'll just continue the route here and add a bus stop on this node here. Because again, I couldn't see any stop sign outside. So add this one to the relation as a bus stop, and the name would be Killinall Bit and Bridle or something like that. Bar, Bit and Bridle Bar. There is no shelter, so you can use the tick box here. If it is ticked, it means yes. If it isn't ticked, it means no. And if there's a mine, it says unknown. But there isn't. And then there's also no bench. Bench, no. And bin, I don't know. I haven't looked. There's a bin there. Maybe that would qualify, but that's really the bin for the Chinese takeaway. But I mean, you could walk there. But it doesn't have a dedicated bin for the bus stop because there's not even a sign for the bus stop. So this is the route mapped up from Thurles to Killinall. I want to add the website as well for the bus company in case somebody wants to look up the bus timetable. So it was Bernard Kavanagh Coaches. So I'm just going to copy this website. That's all I will do. And I'll save this now. So I have made two mistakes, so I'll click on the warnings. On the first warning, it'll jump to wherever. Upgrade the tags. I'll also add to Boris Church. And then there was another mistake. No, that's already solved. Added new bus route sources. And I can add the website there again. Timetable, hashtag, I'll use the Derrynaflan trail hashtag, even though there wasn't a lot of heritage there, But we mustn't forget that bus routes also sometimes go back a really long time, back to, what's his name? The Italian. Bianconi. So he had a network of coaches, and I'd love to map the historic network of his coaches, but I think it would be an awful lot of research to do that. But it would be nice to have it on open historical maps or something. So I'll save this now before I get carried away too much. And to look it up on Overpass-Turbo, we'll need something that will recognize it, and I'll use the operator. So it won't show on the layers yet, because it's a relation. It takes a while to generate it and to be rendered. So I'll try in a couple of days. You won't have to wait a couple of days. I'll edit the video as such. What was I going to do? Overpass and zoom out. So the operator Bernard Kavanagh in quotes, and I'll click build query, zoom in a bit. Where are we? Here. And then I can delete node and way, really, because we're only looking for the relation that has this operator. And I'll run this, and fingers crossed. Maybe it's not there yet. It should be. What did I do wrong? So this is another way you can do it. You open where you know you've added something. And you go into the map data, into the layers, and you take your map data, and I would recommend zooming in because otherwise it'll just get flustered. So I clicked on the road and it showed me, I'll do that again. It showed me that this road is part of a relation, this 136399798, which I presume is the bus route. So I click on it, and then it zooms out and shows me the whole relation. So you see, we did the bit from Thurles to this part is called Turnpike. So probably Bianconi's coach went there somewhere. And then I had to leave out this bit, continue to Urlingford, and then go down here. And that will be rendered on the transport map layer at some point in a couple of days, and we'll look at that then. So here we are now, and I'll just switch to the transport layer on the right here, and you see that we have the red line from Thurles to where I didn't know where the bus goes, Turnpike, and then to Urlingford, and then it turns down here, goes all the way to Killinall, and then I continued the bus route down to Clonmel, and I found another bus going from Thurles to Killinall, and I've added it. It's this one here. It's almost showing completely, and I think there was even a third one which isn't showing yet. It goes this way somewhere. It'll show at some point. So it's there now, mostly. And I'm sorry it's been such a long video because it's a bit of a complex topic, but I hope you find it interesting and educational. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!